Imagine you are hungry, truly hungry, not the hunger of a skipped lunch, but the deep, aching hunger of days. You are standing at the edge of a forest, tens of thousands of years ago. In front of you, the world is generous. Red berries, pale mushrooms, glossy green leaves, roots buried in cool, dark soil. It looks like a feast, but it isn't, because hidden inside all that beauty is death. One berry could feed you. The one beside it could stop your heart before nightfall, and they look exactly the same. You cannot read. There are no labels. There is no one to ask. Just you, a forest, and a single, desperate question. Can I eat this? The obvious answer is simple. You taste it. If it's good, you swallow it. If it's bad, you spit it out. It sounds logical, but that answer is too simple, because many poisons are not bitter at all. Some of the deadliest plants on Earth taste pleasant, right up until the moment they kill you. And the price of one wrong guess was not a bad meal. It was your life. So how did we survive? How did fragile, slow, clawless humans learn to eat a world that was quietly trying to poison them? The answer begins inside your own mouth. The first clue is bitterness. Take something toxic, and more often than not, it tastes bitter. That is not a coincidence. Your tongue is covered in tiny sensors, and a huge number of them exist for one job only: to detect bitter compounds. Bitter was the taste of danger. When our ancestors bit into something sharp and bitter, their faces twisted. They gagged. They pulled away. That reaction feels automatic, almost childish. But it was a warning system millions of years in the making, screaming a single word: stop. Sweetness meant energy. Saltiness meant survival. But bitterness meant something darker. This might be trying to kill you. Your disgust was your first shield. But senses alone were not enough. So our ancestors watched the forest. Birds returning to the same berries, morning after morning. Deer stepping around certain leaves. Monkeys stripping fruit from one tree and ignoring the next. The animals were not always right. What feeds a bird can still kill a human. But they offered clues. And in a world with no answers, a clue was precious. Nature became our first teacher. But there was another problem. A shield can be fooled. Some poisons hide their bitterness completely. And even when the warning worked, it couldn't tell you how much was safe. So the body evolved something crueler and far more clever: memory, written in sickness. Imagine eating a strange root. An hour later, your stomach turns. You are violently, miserably ill. You survive, but something inside you has changed. From that day on, the mere smell of that root makes you recoil. You will never eat it again. This is real. Scientists have studied it for decades. A single bad experience with a food can create a lifelong disgust, learned in one try, remembered forever. Your body was keeping a record, and it wrote that record in nausea. One meal, one lesson, never repeated. Then everything changed. Because humans discovered something no single body could ever do alone. They discovered each other. A lone animal learns only from its own mistakes, and in a poisoned world, most mistakes are final. You do not get many chances to learn from dying. But humans watched. They watched who got sick. They watched who stayed strong. They watched which plants the old ones avoided, and which they gathered without a flicker of fear. Every death in the group became a lesson for everyone who survived it. Knowledge stopped living in one mind. It began living in the group. And when someone finally learned that a certain berry meant death, that truth no longer died with them. It was remembered, and it was passed on. Then came fire. Fire did far more than push back the cold. It softened hard roots. It broke down hidden poisons. It killed the parasites lurking in raw flesh. Foods that once meant sickness now meant strength. Fire did not solve everything, but it widened the world of what a human could safely eat. This is where things become extraordinary, because fire had its limits. Some foods were not simply safe or unsafe. Some were both. Consider a single root, one of the most important foods on Earth, feeding hundreds of millions of people even today. In its raw form, it is loaded with cyanide. Eat it straight from the ground, and it can poison you slowly, quietly, over months. Yet ancient peoples ate it, and they thrived. How? They did not simply cook it. They grated it, soaked it, squeezed it, and left it to sit for days, in a precise sequence of steps that slowly drove the poison out. Miss one step, and the danger returned, invisible and patient. It is unlikely any one person discovered this alone. It is too complex, too specific, too strange. It was discovered across generations, small change by small change, a recipe written by thousands of people who would never meet. And this was happening everywhere. Bitter acorns, soaked in running water until they finally became food. Hard grains, transformed by fire and ash into something a body could live on. All across the ancient world, humans were doing the impossible, turning poison into survival. Not through genius, but through inheritance. This is the real secret. We did not survive because any one of us was clever. We survived because we could remember together. Because a child could inherit 10,000 years of hard-won knowledge without ever tasting a single poison. Culture became our second stomach. Memory became our shield. The forest was still deadly, but now we carried a map. And that map was made of every ancestor who had ever guessed wrong, and every ancestor who had watched and remembered and warned the ones who came after. Now return to the present. Walk into a kitchen. Open a cupboard. Everything inside it is safe. The coffee that wakes you is bitter, a taste that once screamed danger and that we now quietly crave. The spices in your food once fought off decay and disease. The bread, the oil, the grain, every ordinary thing on your plate. None of it is obvious. Every safe meal you have ever eaten rests on an invisible mountain of forgotten choices. People you will never know tested this world with their own bodies. Some lived, some did not. And the difference between them became the silent knowledge that keeps you alive today. So the question was never really, can I eat this? The real question was this: who remembered so that you would never have to find out? Every meal is an inheritance, and every bite is a message sent across thousands of years saying only this: this one is safe. We already paid the price for you.